In this video, I want to talk about how the Supreme Court's decision in the New York State Rifle and Pistol Association v. Bruen concealed carry case, in conjunction with various other states moving towards constitutional carry, will drastically change concealed carry in America this year. So let's talk about this. But real quick before we jump into this video, if you believe in your right to keep and bear arms, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe. Also, I want to give a shout out to one of the main supporters of this channel, which is USCCA. Through your membership, you get training, education, and self-defense liability protection. So if you carry a firearm, I highly recommend you take a look into USCCA, and I'll put a link to them down in the details section. So like I said in the intro, in this video, I want to talk about how the combination of states moving towards constitutional carry and the upcoming New York State Rifle and Pistol Association v. Bruen Supreme Court concealed carry decision will result in drastic concealed carry changes in our country before the end of this year. Now, first, I want to set up the differences between may issue concealed carry schemes, shall issue concealed carry schemes, and also constitutional carry in those states that use constitutional carry, because all of these concepts will be important for what we are going to discuss in this video. May issue states are states in the US which use discretion, which is given by their state legislator in the bills that they pass, on when, how, and to who they grant various concealed carry permits to. The state can establish requirements like background checks, training, fees, etc. that a resident must meet before they are issued a permit. However, even if a person meets all the requirements set out by the state or the local agency, the person can still be denied a permit because it is 100% up to discretion of that issuing agency or officer whether or not they will actually grant that permit. This scheme is what you see play out in left-leaning states in areas like California and New York. So these left-leaning states tend to use may issue schemes. In contrast, in a shall issue state, if you meet all the requirements that are established, you shall be given a license. While this is typically easier than a may issue state, it still involves an application process, wait time, other requirements. However, the benefit of a shall issue state is that it is not up to the discretion of the person or the issuing agency whether or not you will be granted a permit. If you meet all the requirements, they must give you your permit. In a constitutional carry state, there is no permit, or at least one is not mandatory by the state. In a constitutional carry state, essentially the state legislator has established that as long as a person is not a prohibited person, they can be in lawful possession of firearms, that person does not need a permit to carry concealed. These states may still have a permit available, but often that is not actually for carrying in the state. A lot of people will use that for reciprocity purposes, i.e. if they decide they want to go to a different state where a permit is required. Now, with all of that out of the way, that kind of sets up what we're going to talk about in this video. States like Alabama and Ohio are now moving towards constitutional carry. Both of these states have constitutional carry bills that have passed their state legislators and will be moving to their governors to be signed into law. So two states have already kind of teed up constitutional carry to be law of the land in their own jurisdiction. So they are moving to constitutional carry. On top of that, two more states have similar bills in the works that they're going to try to get passed and signed into law. The two states are Nebraska and Indiana, and both of these have constitutional carry bills that are pending and which have strong chances of actually passing and being signed into law. And then, therefore, in Nebraska and Indiana, there would also be constitutional carry. This would result in 25 states or 50% of all the states in the US having constitutional carry as the law of their land. Now, if you guys want to know more about the nitty-gritty of the procedural aspect of these four bills, I highly recommend you guys check out a video that Jared and Braden did together on all these states. They went over what's going on, much more in detail about the nitty-gritty. Also, if you aren't subscribed to their channel, I would highly recommend you guys check out Braden's channel, which is Langley Outdoors, and also Jared's channel, which is Guns and Gadgets. Good guys. They're friends of the channel. They're friends of me. We talk often. And if you guys want also some more in-depth information on these four topics, these four states, I highly recommend you guys check them out. They put out good videos and they have solid information. Just kind of a shameless plug for my friends. So as you can see by these four states and their recent actions, you can see that states have been independently moving towards constitutional carry. However, on top of that, on top of these four states moving towards constitutional carry, we also have a looming Supreme Court decision in the New York State Rifle and Pistol Association v. Bruen case, which all indicators point towards the case resulting in the removal of may issue schemes in our country. Now, for those of you who aren't aware of the New York State Rifle and Pistol Association case, this case is a challenge to the state of New York's concealed carry permit requirements. The state of New York requires a person to provide proper cause to be issued a permit to carry concealed. The issue is that the state of New York does not consider self-defense a proper cause, and therefore on that justification alone, people have their permits denied. Essentially, a person has to distinguish themselves from the average person to be granted a permit to carry concealed. So the whole question is whether the state of New York violated the Second Amendment with their may issue licensing scheme that does not treat self-defense as a sufficient justification for a permit to be granted. Now, the Supreme Court heard oral arguments in this case, which is very important because it is one of the first Second Amendment cases that the Supreme Court has heard and will rule on in a very long time. For reference, there are really only about 4 other Supreme Court decisions that we've recently got and that touch directly on the Second Amendment. Those cases are Miller, McDonald, Caetano is the most recent one, and then of course the landmark case Heller. In this decision, the Supreme Court appears to be signaling that they will be shooting down the state of New York's may issue scheme. And this will no doubt lead to an important Second Amendment shift and change in 2022. The decision would force every other state with a may issue licensing scheme to have to shift to, at the very least, a shall issue scheme. Ideally, constitutional carry would be the standard across the US, in my opinion, but at least in 2022, we can take the first step towards getting rid of may issue licensing altogether and kind of setting that baseline as shall issue. This decision would be big for people in restrictive states like California, New York, New Jersey, and others. These states would never move to less restrictive concealed carry standards without actually being obligated to, and this decision will hopefully make it impossible for their may issue schemes to exist any longer. Now, that's not to say that I don't anticipate states like California and New York trying to do some funny stuff, because we know that they will. New York has already tried to introduce various bills in anticipation of the Supreme Court's decision. For example, they want to already introduce this bill, or they have introduced this bill, which restricts concealed carry in any place that has 15 or more people around, which essentially in cities like New York City means that you would be restricted from concealing almost anywhere. Hawaii is also trying to pass a bill to kind of circumvent this decision that's coming up from the Supreme Court. They want to require that anyone who concealed carries also has to have a stun gun. So as you can see, these left-leaning states are anticipating losing their control through may issue schemes. And so they're going to try to do anything that they can to kind of keep their control. But it's going to make it a lot harder for them to do that, because the fact is that 50% of the states in the US will have constitutional carry. Plus, they're going to have this Supreme Court decision, which is nullifying the may issue schemes. And it will make it very, very hard for these states to justify concealed carry restrictions as constitutional. So 2022 can be one of those years we look back on as a pivotal year for our right to keep and bear arms in America. It definitely feels like at the state level, all these states are moving without the Supreme Court, they're moving without the US Congress, and they're doing this on their own. But the New York State Rifle and Pistol Association decision, along with these states' actions, could be the tipping point in our nation to reaffirm our fundamental right to keep and bear arms. So if you guys have any questions, go ahead and comment down below and I'll try to answer the best of my ability. Also, if you like this video and like support the channel, one of the best ways to do that is to like, comment, and subscribe. All those things help to fuel the algorithm or fuel Al Gore's rhythm. It adds fuel to his jet and it signals to YouTube that you guys see value in these videos and in this type of two-way news. Again, thank you to everybody who likes, comments, subscribes, who hits the notification bell, who shares these videos. You guys are directly impacting these videos, impacting this channel, and helping me to reach and educate more people than I could have ever thought. So thank you so much for all of your support. If you don't have a comment in mind, just comment down below. Just comment to fuel the algorithm, and that really does help these videos. So as always, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And never forget, this station was built by armed scholars, and this station will be maintained by armed scholars.